Section 1. There are earlier known voyages to the Americas, but the era of exploration didn't start until after Columbus sailed to the West Indies. After that, Europe started colonizing in the Americas. There were many hardships, but the Europeans started taking more and more land along the East Coast. The natives also influenced life around the world, and this is how colonization began. Section 2. The Spanish also got into the exploration boom. They explored southern North America and conquered the Aztecs and Incas. They started colonizing around northern Mexico and South America. They set up pueblos, presidios, and missions. They had a social class of peninsulares, Creoles, mestizos, and the natives. The natives were treated the worst and were forced to work under harsh conditions. But then the Spanish started the slave trade, which took Africans and took them to New Spain to work. This is how slavery began.
Giovanni came back from a 79-day voyage, and he told everyone about it. Now everybody wants to settle their own American colonies. Since going around North America, they looked for a Northwest Passage, or a waterway through North America. The French also sent Giovanni in search of a Northwest Passage. He journeyed along the North American coast from the Carolinas to Canada. Henry Hudson sailed into the New York harbor, and one time they were sent adrift in a small boat and never seen again. None of them found a Northwest Passage, but the rulers of Western Europe were wondering how to profit from the region's resources. European nations competed for riches and had religious rivalries. There was only one church that broke up into many and then divided Christians. Martin Luther thought the church was too worldly. He opposed the power of the popes and Catholic teaching. Martin Luther started the Protestant Reformation that divided Europe. Queen Elizabeth encouraged English adventurers to raid Spanish colonies and capture Spanish treasure fleets. Samuel de Champlain founded Port Royal, the first permanent French settlement in North America, in 1605. He also built a trading post called Quebec. France had little gold or silver. They fished, trapped, and traded, and their nickname was Coureurs de Bois. They brought knives, kettles, cloth, and for trade with the Native Americans. In return, the Indians gave them beaver skins and other furs that were expensive in Europe. Coureurs de Bois were friends with the Native Americans and did not try to conquer them. And some couriers married Indian women. Missionaries taught Native Americans Christianity. French followed the St. Lawrence River deep into the heart of North America. Father Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet, led by Indians, followed to find Mississippi for 700 miles. To keep Spain and England out of Louisiana, the French built forts along the Great Lakes. New Orleans was a busy trading center. New Orleans transported Africans to work on the plantations, but some revolved with the French. In New France, the king controlled the government directly, while the people had little freedom. Louis worried that not enough freedom was moving to New France. So he sent 1,000 people to live there. New France still grew slowly. Only 10,000 settlers lived there. The Dutch also hoped to profit from their discoveries in the Americas. Peter Minuit brought Manhattan Island from local Indians and called it New Amsterdam, but the entire colony was called New Netherland. It was a busy port. The Dutch also built trading posts along the Hudson River. They were known for good business. They grew by taking over New Sweden, which had already been there 15 years. Dutch traders sent furs to the Netherlands. The Dutch and the French became rivals, and fur trade. They both had an alliance with the Native Americans. Fighting went on a long time with their alliances. Dutch brought many of their customs from Europe to the Netherlands, like Saint Nick or Santa Claus, and languages. Some settlements killed a lot of Indians with diseases. Trappers almost wiped out all the beavers in upstate New York. Indians adapted new ways, and everything the Indians were forced to live off their lands.
It was not easy practicing religion freely in Europe in 1500. The kings and queens chose the established church along with many other people. People who did not follow the established church were often persecuted. The Mayflower Compact allowed them to practice religion freely for the good of the colony. The first winter was horrible. Many people died, and so did the crops. So the natives taught them how to grow things